state your name for the record?
What?
Your name, sir.
Jules Sharpe. What is this?
This is an interrogation, sir. You approached our camp. We don't know you. We don't trust you. You'll answer our questions, and then we'll decide what to do with you. Is that clear?
Perfectly. And if I refuse?
Are you refusing, Master Sharpe? My sergeant says you're low on supplies. You're welcome to walk back into the Frostland. But you came here for a reason. So, shall we begin?
Fine. What do you want to know?
Where are you from?
Originally? New London.
And unoriginally?
An outpost. A few days north.
And there are only 5 of you?
There were 7.
Our physician says you're wounded.
I'll live.
Where were you going?
Tesla City.
You know the way to Tesla City?
More or less. We were following a map. Is that where you're from?
We're asking the questions, Master Sharpe. Why are you going to Tesla City?
That's not a short answer.
We have time.
Right. Okay. I was one of 4 scouts sent out from New London on an expedition. They had sighted smoke way out in the frosts, and they sent a huge team. About 70 people. Medics, workers, engineers, even psychologists. People who had no business being out in the Frostlands. We figured they must have found something big. A dreadnought, maybe. Something to justify the risk.
And what did you find?
A fort. Ruined. We sighted it and went back to guide the expedition, but that's when New London went dark. We had a beacon, a balloon above the city that could send us codes, messages. But suddenly there was nothing. So we had no warning when the storm hit us. We ran. About half of us made it to the fort. And of those, another half had frostbite. I thought we were dead.
And yet you survived. How?
It was the strangest thing. The storm broke around the fort, like an eye in a hurricane. And it was warm, well, livable. And in the courtyard, a small generator. Broken, but fixable.
And you weren't alone?
No. There were others. Austrians, I think. Former military. Cooks. Logistics officers. They had arrived just before us. They offered to share their food with us if we could fix the generator. So we tore that fort apart all night. It was, chaotic. Our commander had fallen behind in the storm. We had no leadership, no organization. And I think deep down, every one of us was afraid it might be every man for himself. I explored the underground tunnels with another scout, Mary. We found tools and scraps, bandages. We even found a crate of coal. Enough to make us think that we might actually survive. I wish now we hadn't found it. Not yet. The engineers got the generator working by dawn. It roared to life as we cheered. For a moment, it seemed like we might have a chance. But then we checked our supplies and found that all of our food had been replaced with bricks.
Bricks?
Bricks. We should have had weeks of food. Instead, we had nothing. People panicked. They said New London had sent us out to die. We formed a council, one representative from each profession. Dr. Harry Jones was the most influential of them. He gathered up what little food we had to ration it out, prioritizing the sick. Everyone trusts a doctor.
What happened the next day?
The council had no plan. Some wanted to return to New London, but Without supplies, we had no chance. So, the scouts went out looking for food. I led an expedition the next morning. We found almost nothing, except for a body in the snow. A woman, not one of ours, recently dead. She had a note pinned to her. Something like, "We couldn't do what was necessary. To whoever finds her, we give her to you freely. We know her soul has left her body." The meaning was clear. I rejected it outright, but we agreed we would take the body back for burial. Nothing else. But I knew the idea would get around. We weren't the only ones to find bodies. A whole group had apparently died before us. The doctor ordered the bodies placed in a pit, said it was for disease control. We didn't argue. And then the accusations started. The scouts were hoarding food, some said, or the workers, or the engineers. People get stupid when they're scared. Peter, the leader of the workers, was especially hostile to me for some reason. Someone had told him that they saw me hoarding food, and he spread that rumor, though I had no idea why.
But then something changed?
Yes. I was up on the wall, surveying the area, when I spotted the entire medical team slipping out of their makeshift infirmary. Dr. Jones, his assistant, and another medic, Helen. And I just had a feeling, something in my gut telling me something was wrong. I was a bodyguard for 20 years before the frost. You learn to trust your intuition.
You were a bodyguard?
20 years for the same employer. Jerome Dumbarton. He's here with me.
So, you had a feeling?
Yeah. Just a feeling. When the medics were out of sight, I crept down to the infirmary. The pit of bodies was just outside, and they were covered with a thick cloth. I lifted it up, and I saw one of the bodies had been replaced with straw and bricks. And I knew what the doctor was planning. I told Alistair, another scout. He told me to keep it quiet for now, so I did. But that is when the mob came for me. Peter led them. They ransacked my tent, found nothing. The doctor shouted that we were hiding food, and I snapped. I accused him, right there in front of everyone, and the doctor's face. Anyone could see the truth.
And the crowd?
Some were angry, but most weren't as horrified as they should have been. They were just mad that they hadn't been told. While we were arguing, another man, Paul, slipped away and tried to burn the bodies in the pit. Someone spotted him, and just as quickly the mob turned on him next. They wanted a say in whether we should eat the dead. The right to choose was more important to them than what they were choosing. I knew we didn't have the numbers to stop the doctor outright, not with Peter riling up the workers. So I proposed we lock the bodies away until we could have a vote and decide. That calmed people for now. If we could just find some food, maybe we could turn them away from this barbarity. I led another expedition shortly after. We retraced our steps to find the bodies of those who didn't outrun the storm. I knew they'd have basic rations on them. Found our commander's body, and he had a letter with him, a speech that I think he meant to give. And it explained everything. Hours after we had left New London, the city had fallen. Order had staged a coup. There were burnings, beatings, and the captain of the city, evil incarnate, he wrote, We hadn't been sent away to die. We had barely escaped, and we didn't even know it.
We've heard similar reports.
Then you know why we couldn't go back. But the letter had some hope. It said that there was another city out there. Winterhome, it was called. We just needed to find it. While I was away, the doctor called the vote. He didn't want me there to sway people against him. Coward. And they chose their right to decide. Choice again. Always choice. Paul, the same man who tried to burn the bodies, pulled a knife and stabbed the doctor. He didn't kill him, not outright, but he'd be lucky to last the night. Half of the group wanted to kill Paul in reprisal, and the other half, I realized they'd been looking to me. I needed someone decisive, someone who offered an alternative. I didn't want to lead, but I knew that if something wasn't done, we'd tear each other apart. So I locked Paul up. I promised a vote, execution or exile. That calmed them. For now. It was an uneasy truce, but we'd avoided violence for a little longer.
Did you tell them about New London?
Not yet. Everything was too fragile. If they lost their hope now, there'd be nothing left to lose. We needed a miracle. Well, we got our chance. A stranger turned up outside of the fort, a fellow scout. He said he was from Winterhome. He wanted to exchange maps, chart a path to New London for trade or something. He said that Winterhome was 10 days away. We had enough food for maybe 2. So I thought long and hard on a solution. And I went to the doctor on his deathbed. We were enemies, but I knew I would need his support for my plan. His assistant, Bridget, was there, and Helen. My idea was to split the group. Most would stay behind in the fort. It was warm enough that perhaps we could build a hothouse and start growing food. They could live there for a time. Having enough food in the short term was the problem. Well, a majority of us had just decided they were perfectly comfortable with eating the dead. They had their food. They could stay. But for those of us who refused to defile ourselves, we'd gather up what we could, set out for Winterhome. A small group might make it. And when we arrived, we could send help back. In the end, the doctor agreed, though there were some conditions. I had to take his assistant Bridget with us, and we couldn't refuse anyone who knowingly accepted the risk. But he agreed to support my plan.
But that didn't happen.
No. That night, while we were in the courtyard, the generator ruptured. Smoke and fumes poured out from fissures in the ground. We barely made it inside. It's a miracle no one died. When the air cleared, the engineers inspected the generator and declared it was irreparable. This would happen again, and when it did, the generator would die. It could be in an hour, day, a week, but the point was, we couldn't stay here. And yet, the fact remained, we didn't have enough supplies. Not everyone was going to make it to Winterhome. The next morning, I told them everything. What I'd learned about New London, about Winterhome, about the generator. I admit I softened the situation a bit. I was hoping we might have some volunteers to stay behind, those who would take the relative safety of the fort versus the unknown. We got some, not enough. The stress was taking its toll. Peter grew more hostile by the hour. Even his own workers had enough of him. And there was sickness spreading. The doctor's assistant fell ill, which left only Helen as our functioning medic. And by all accounts, she's not a very good doctor. We found a radio inside the fort. The engineers fixed it up easily, and it picked up a signal. I have no idea where it came from. It was a radio report. It said that there would be a break in the storm that evening, and it would last for 3 days. A far cry short of the 10 that we needed. Word got out. The people panicked. Some couldn't take it anymore and took their own lives. Others snapped. And that's when I got stabbed. There was no warning, no escalation, no fight. He just suddenly pulled a knife on me, saying he was sorry. He got me. Right here. It's a miracle that he didn't hit anything vital.
You never learned why he attacked you?
He didn't live long enough to explain himself. The wound was bad. Very bad. I was with Jerome when it happened, and he dragged me into the courtyard, screaming for help. I don't remember much of it. Only pain. I knew I was a dead man. I vaguely remember telling someone to go to Mary for help, that she knew the plan. Someone had to get us out of here. And then, all was still, and Helen leaned over me and told me that I was going to live. I don't know how she did it. It felt like a miracle. And I wept, not out of relief, but for a brief moment, I thought it was over, that I was done. And now I wasn't. I wasn't the only victim that day. Peter died also, stabbed by a woman named Alice. Peter had given her a knife, told her that I was the source of our troubles. But he behaved so radically that Alice stabbed him instead with a knife meant for me. How's that for ironic? It all fell apart so quickly from there. I had tried so hard to keep the peace, to hold the faith, to save everyone, but now they were dying. It was like they didn't even want to live. While I recovered, the camp looked to Mary. She spent hours making lists of what resources we still had. Those who wanted to go, those who wanted to stay. She was convinced she could find a way to save everyone where I had failed. And she tried. God, she tried. But then, we had another visitor. A woman, her face covered in blood. She said she was from another place. Tesla City. I met with her, learned what I could. She said Tesla City was only 3 days away. But the journey would be grueling. We'd need more resources to get to Tesla City than we would to Winterhome. That was the moment when it all snapped into place. We had only one viable option. New London was certain death. Winterhome was too far. And the generator could blow at any minute. Tesla City was our only hope for salvation. But not everyone was going to make the trip. We had enough food, coal, and medicine for 7, by my count, and no more. Only 7 would survive. The trouble was the damn coal. If we'd rationed it better, if we hadn't burned so much, or if I had found it later, then maybe... It didn't matter now. The point was, 7 would survive, and the rest were condemned. And if they figured that out, if they even suspected it, then they'd tear each other apart before the frost ever touched them. So I chose. My first accomplice was Helen. She was our last remaining medic, and she had all the medicine. We'd need her. She agreed to help me smuggle supplies. No one even thought to ask what we were doing, as we took away the last crates of coal and kindling, and brought it down to the gate and hid it.
You said Helen was in the medical team. Surely she ate the bodies along with the rest?
I don't know.
Oh, come now, Master Sharpe. You must suspect.
I don't know. And I will not damn her with my idle speculation. I know that she saved my life. If you want to know the truth, you're going to have to ask her.
Very well, we will. Please, finish.
With the coal and the medicine hidden, all we needed was food. One of the engineers had built a smoker to preserve what little meat we managed to trap or hunt. The last batch would be ready by nightfall, right before the storm would break. That would be our moment. But I needed to gather my 7 carefully. If word got out, it would all be over. So I waited. I stayed near Mary and Alistair while they planned and bargained. I waited until they were alone. And then I told them the real plan. It would be us 3 scouts, plus Helen and Jerome, and Father Loris, a priest who'd helped me in moments of doubt, and Obadiah, a reliable worker. We would survive, but only if they trusted me one last time. We had to leave, and it had to be now. I saw the hurt in Mary's eyes even as I said it. I think she was afraid that I'd abandon her too. She tried so hard to save everyone. So I lied. I told her we'd leave everything behind that we didn't need, that there was enough for the others to survive until help arrived. But there wasn't enough coal, no timber, no medicine. She didn't ask, because she trusted me. I gathered the others and sent them to meet Mary by the gates. I gathered what food I could, put it in a pack, and I walked away. The others were gathered round the fire, eating their... Well, they didn't notice me. The storm cleared, and we left. I know what you're thinking. I'm not proud of what I did. But would it really have been better if they had known? I lied, and I stole. And I did it to save lives.
I'm sure the doctor would have said the same.
You weren't there, okay? I tried to save them all. I did. But they kept making the wrong choices. So why should one more of us die to save them when they had already given up on their humanity?
Are you saying they deserved it?
No, of course not. There were others that I desperately wanted to save, who deserved to be saved. Fred, Jane. I didn't have enough. I wish to God that I did, but I didn't.
You said 7 left the outpost, but you arrived here with only 5.
We all suffered for our choices. Some more than others. Father Loris had the first watch the night after we left. And he just walked out into the snow. I found him the next morning. He'd given so much hope to others, but I guess he didn't keep any for himself.
And Miss Thickney?
Mary left the next day. She stole supplies, fell to the back of the group, and then vanished. I didn't even know until it was too late. I tried to chase her, but she's better in the Frostlands than I am. I barely stopped Alice. I found a lump of coal in my pack. I know it was from her. I still don't know what to make of it. An accusation? A memory? I don't know. But she would have gone to Winterhome. That's what she'd do. She's going to get help.
And then you found us?
Yes. We'd wasted precious time. Then the storm didn't hold out as long as we'd hoped. We saw your camp, and then here we are.
But you do know the way to Tesla City?
Thank you, Lieutenant. That'll be all.
Sir.
Who are you?
I am the commanding officer of this platoon. I am the man who will decide your fate and the fate of your companions.
Look, it doesn't matter what you think of me. But take the others. Please. Take Jerome. Tesla City will want him. The man is brilliant. He knows more formulas than I'll ever understand. You can use him as leverage. You can...
Peace, Master Sharpe. You worry I will think you to be a ruthless man. And you are ruthless. But from what I can tell, you're not malicious. You saw a path to victory, and you seized it. Our reports from New London confirm what you have said. The captain there rules with an iron fist. Returning would have meant your death. As for Winterhome, there is nothing for you there. The city is a ruin.
What?
The city is lost. Only ghosts and cold steel remain. If Miss Thickney has not already perished in the frost, she will find no salvation there. There will be no rescue.
Damn it all.
I tell you this so you understand. You made the best decision available. It may not comfort you, but it is the truth. And I need you clear-headed for what comes next.
What do you mean?
We too are searching for a Tesla City. We've been close for some time, but we have not yet found a safe route. If you truly know the path, then we will welcome your companions to travel with us. You have my word. They will be cared for until we reach the city.
Okay.
So, here you are. Out of the 70 who left New London, only 5 remain. You've endured murder, cannibalism, betrayal, chaos. You have questioned your own humanity, all to save these few. So I must ask you, Master Sharpe, was it worth it?
Hey folks, thank you for watching. If you can't tell, I had a phenomenal time at the Frostpunk LARP. Not only was the setting very well put together, the story was compelling and constantly ramping up that pressure, and the cast truly loved the source material and acted very professionally and created a great experience. So applause all around. And of course, let's give a shout out to my fellow players and survivors, or not survivors, sorry about that. I think one of the things that's the best about this whole experience is I've only offered you one perspective among many. There were a whole bunch of different plot lines and dramas going on that were all player driven. In fact, I'd say about 90% of the experience really came directly from the players. The cast kind of let us free reign. They just had plot points to keep making things, you know, a bit more urgent and kind of force us into a pressured situation. But beyond that, everything came down to how we would interpret our characters react. And there's so many different directions it could have gone. I mean, imagine that I hadn't discovered the bodies before the doctor could feed them to everybody. What would have happened then? No idea. What if we hadn't found that coal too early? What if Peter had been successful in getting me killed and kind of taking things over? What if Helen were actually a competent doctor instead of a poser? Though I can't complain too much, she did save my life. Love you, sis. The point is, it was a great experience that really felt player-driven. The cast just created the environment for us to be there, and we just truly got to roleplay our characters. And if I had any advice, as somebody who's never LARPed before, but I think I caught the hang of it pretty quickly, if you're going to go into that kind of situation, put aside all preconceived notions. Any plot lines you think you want to force through, it's just going to make it a bad experience. Instead, every second of the game, think about what your character would do in these situations, and then don't worry if you look foolish. Just embrace it, and it's amazing how many awesome stories will naturally flow out of that. Great experience. But I will say I am quite proud of how it ultimately ended, and as the game director said, it was the most unexpected ending they've ever had for this LARP. Not what they were going for, but I mean, like, hey, I got to create something new. That's pretty cool. But I do want to stress, just because you've seen my video does not mean this is the story every single time. Not only because of the players, but there's a lot of different directions the game directors could absolutely go. Winter Home was not an option this time around. Maybe it would be next time. And then there are a couple of plot twists I very intentionally did leave out so that people could get surprised. And if any of my fellow players are watching, there's a reason I didn't mention some of these. Let's just assume my interpretation of events are good enough for the comment section, okay? No spoilers. Speaking of players, a couple of quick shoutouts. Mary, Alistair, I spent the most time with you guys. You were awesome. You rolled with things and you gave me a great time, so thank you very much. Gregory, screw you for stabbing me, but congratulations on your engagement. As for the doctor, nice try, buddy. Thinks he can create some sort of a cannibalistic death cult. Not on my watch, that's my job. Liam, you were cool. Respect. Father Loris, Bartholomew, Fred, Jane, there's so many characters I can't even name all of you guys right now, but you know who you are. I miss you guys. It was a great experience. I hope you had as much fun as I did. And of course, a massive thanks to LarpVenture for having me to this event. It was amazing. You guys are awesome. Now here's a fun little tidbit. LarpVenture is going to be opening up ticket sales for the next LARP here pretty soon. So if you guys are interested in maybe trying it out for yourself, this whole thing has inspired you, I highly recommend it, and there is going to be a discount code for my audience. I'll go ahead and include that down below. Really, if I lived in Europe and didn't have to fly across the ocean every time, I'd do this a lot. This was awesome. Cannot recommend it enough. Again, discount code for my audience right down here. Hope you guys actually take advantage of it. In the meantime, again, thank you so much for watching this very different video. I normally don't do things like this, but it was a lot of fun and I wanted to keep the roleplay going. If you did enjoy, of course, subscribe if you want to see my future content, including some more Frostpunk stuff. We got a new DLC on the horizon. That's going to be pretty awesome. And of course, I will see you guys next time.